Hey there everybody, this is Major DC, and today I'm bringing you some of the crew. So a quick note on the gameplay before we actually get started is this is the Nissan 370Z, one of my favorite all-time real cars, in the dirt spec modification, and the main reason is I'd been doing mostly on-road kind of stuff, not really fooled around in the off-roading section, so I figured what a better place to test it out than the beautiful beach of Miami early in the morning, because why not? So anyways, let's get right into it. So before I can give you basically what's going to be more or less my opinion and overview of the beta itself, I need to give you a brief history of like me and racing games in general. I typically don't tend to be the type of person that enjoys what would be considered the actiony, arcadey, almost unrealistic style racing games. I mean, I used to play the Need for Speed, especially Hot Pursuit, like Hot Pursuit 2 back in the PlayStation 2 days, and I really enjoyed those a lot. But as far as just solely racing goes, I really never enjoyed them that much, mainly because I feel a lot of them are really too easy almost. There's a lot of assistance and guiding with them, and the actual, just physics don't feel correct. And when you have a person like myself who is, pretty good when it comes to things of the physicality nature, and who has, pretty good spatial awareness, I tend to react to things how it would in regular conditions as if it were almost like not obviously nobody here, or I shouldn't say nobody, but the majority of people playing this game aren't real race car drivers, so we don't know completely how everything would work, but people who develop good sense of spatial awareness and physics can kind of tell how things should work out as if they were in real life. So that's just how I feel to it. And so far, it seems to be working out pretty well because I don't mean to brag, but later on you can see some of the Dodge Challenger gameplay, what I like to call threading the needle through traffic. I tend to think I'm a pretty okay driver in this game, but once again, it's still kind of assisted, so we don't know how truly good I am. It could just be some of that untapped potential for helping and assisting that I don't see. Well, now you're probably telling yourself, well, wait a minute, Major. You just told us this game is completely assisted. Well, how come you just said it's still kind of assisted? Well, that's a very good question, my children, because the simple answer is there is a saving grace in this game, and that is called the settings. Now, I will probably end up putting a screenshot here with the settings that I am using, but if you go over and you look at the different gameplay mechanic settings, you can actually turn a lot of the assisting stuff off, which is very, very happy, and that's basically probably one of the main reasons that my opinion for this game completely changed, because once you put it, I put it on, I believe if I'm remembering off the top of my head, hardcore mode, and then I like my steering sensitivity very high because I like to react to things very quickly. So I put the dead zone on minimal, which is the dead zone is the area in which the steering wheel is not actually doing very much active steering. And I also put the sensitivity all the way up on it, and it's completely changed everything. I turned the linearity all the way off, whatever the heck that is. I'm not quite sure, um, but it seems to have it felt like a totally different game, and it felt like I was driving almost felt like I was driving a real car because of the way it handled, the way it reacted, and it felt wonderful. Okay, so now that we have the whole control and assisted action game debacle out of the way, we can start to focus on the meat of the game itself, and that is the actual, well, quite obviously, the game. So one of the first things I have on the list of things to talk about is the map, and I must say this map is absolutely enormous. The only two games I can think of that come even close to competing, well, I shouldn't say come close because I'm not exactly sure. There probably might be even bigger, but uh, I'd say if you could put game maps into their own league, if you will, I'd say it's on par with the Arma 2, Arma 3 series maps. For the you guys that know what games those are, Grand Theft Auto 5, yes, definitely has a big map. I actually played that game quite a bit. I love it, but I don't feel it's as big as this one. From referencing other YouTubers' videos, I've heard that it takes around approximately 40 to 50 minutes if you're driving on road, or the best you can on road from one side of the map to the other. It takes about that long. So that's quite a distance, really. And on top of that, this game really pretty looks for the size of the map that it is, and the fact that there's absolutely no loading going from one side to the other. Um, it looks really good for. I mean, I understand this is next generation consoles, but they still are kind of underpowered compared to PCs that we have today. But I think that this game will be able to hold its own as far as graphics fidelity goes for years to come. I mean, if you just look right now, I understand this is probably going to look like absolute shit on YouTube, but if you can see this on the 370Z, the reflections and everything just looks so nice. It's really, I have got to give props to Ubisoft for that. Now this game really shines to me in two aspects as far as the gameplay goes, and that would be both in the multiplayer and the social aspect of it, and also the side, I guess you could call them side missions almost, but challenges and the exploring aspect. And the reason is the multiplayer is really well done. I like how it's integrated with the single player story. Most games can't really manage to do that very well and do it successfully, but I feel this game has done that, and it can be quite a blast to grab a few of your friends or a couple guys that you meet online and just go do like raid missions or whatever, even though there aren't that many available since it is the beta still. But most games that I've played that were open world, you know, always have those like almost side missions or challenges or stuff that you can do. And I feel like this game really does it very well. Most of the games that I play that have that type of stuff, for example, Watch Dogs, really had very boring side quests. I did not enjoy them whatsoever. It's just like, you know, why even bother? Just go back to story mode or go drive around, because they're not interesting whatsoever, and there's really no reward for doing them. But the challenges that you can find throughout the map, and they're indicated which type of challenge it is by the little marker above them, you can actually win parts from, and you can win parts for your car and also the parts available at the store to buy. And I think that's a really good idea. I wasn't too thrilled with the unlocking idea at first until I really started to play around with it, and I found, you know, how it actually works, and I think it works very well. I think they did a great job with it, and I like the concept how you can equip it to your car and then go and buy it to the store or buy it from the store, excuse me, for your other cars. Because at first I was kind of confused. I thought it was basically, okay, you won this with this car, it's going on this car, and you can't use it for any of your other cars. And I thought, well, that's kind of stupid. That means I'm going to have to go back and do everything with all my other cars. And lo and behold, I went to the store and found out that was not true. And, you know, so I thought that was a very clever and unique idea that they implemented into this game. Now for exploring. Exploring is something that, you know, most people do in open world games, or kind of expect to do in open world games, but the actual game itself never really encourages it. This game actually encourages a lot of exploring, and, you know, this is probably one of my most favorite maps that I've ever explored before. There's a little side mission where you can go around in all the different, wouldn't call them districts, but areas of the United States. You know, you got the Midwest, South, you know, the more up north areas like Detroit, Chicago, where you can actually drive around and you'll get these little radar pings, and it'll lead you to old car crashes, you know, the old rat rods almost. And basically, if you find all 20 in each area, you can build a hidden car, is what I believe they call them. And I think that's a really neat idea, because it gives you the how should I say it, the motivation to go off, because most of the time people don't go around hunting for these things. At least from what I've found from my experience, you're just driving down the road and all of a sudden you start getting a ping. It's like, let's go check this out, and you find some really cool stuff sometimes. And I think that's just a great idea, and I think it's going to lead to a lot more people discovering cool things throughout the world. And I'm really glad that they put this in here, and I'd like to see where they go with this in the whole build of the game, if they add more things like this, and, you know, in future updates. I think that would be really cool of them. Alright, so what is my final verdict of this game? I definitely think this game is moving in the right direction. I think it's going in places that it should be going, but there's still a few things that need to be kinked out, if you will, out of the game. I know there's a lot of people in the community that have had the perspective I've had, as far as the fact that they feel this game is too arcadey. They'd like to see it modified more so that it handles much nicer as far as the cars go. I mean, come on, it's 2014 and we have all this wonderful technology now, Ubisoft, that allows us to track cars and their patterns, how they move and how they handle, and being able to apply that in a game. I think that's something that needs to be looked into, and fixing the ways that the cars handle on the road, right, and obviously in the entire game, so that way it becomes much more enjoyable for everybody and more of a challenge, and more challenge equals more fun, obviously, to a certain extent. Um, I probably will end up getting this game over the holiday season at one point or another. I'm definitely not going to pre-order this game, especially not after all the bullshit that Ubisoft has been pulling. For example, Assassin's Creed Unity. That's a great reason not to pre-order another game for the rest of your life. Just wait, come on people, wait till the game comes out before you buy it, see how it works, and that's definitely what I'm going to be doing. So, this game, I feel like I spent all of freaking last night. I was up until about 3:30 in the morning playing this game. It was ridiculous. I don't think I've had this much fun with a single player game since Grand Theft Auto 5. And before I played Grand Theft Auto 5, the most fun I had with a single player game was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So I'm really having high expectations for this game when I finally do get it and I'm able to play all of it. I think it's going to be a blast, and I'm really hoping that's how the game is going to end up. Alright, so that's going to about wrap it up, guys. I'd like to say thank you for watching this video all the way through. Make sure you go download that beta before it's gone. I doubt very many people will watch this video at all before the beta's gone. It ends, actually I just read 11:28 at midnight for Pacific Standard Time. So even though I'm East Coast, so that's about 3 a.m. over here. Also, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do in the future, because I'm getting a job soon and I'm going to have some money coming in, but I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with the money yet. So make sure you guys leave a like if you really enjoyed what I have to say. Not necessarily, I understand the quality kind of sucked. Unfortunately, I have no control at that moment, but I will in the future. So if you actually enjoyed the content itself and you'd like to see more in the future, leave a like, and that encourages me and lets me know you guys want to see more, and that'll help me decide to put my funds towards funding YouTube, as far as getting better equipment to make the quality better for you all, and also focusing more time and resources towards it. So also for all the United States viewers, happy Thanksgiving. That's when this video is coming out, even though I doubt many of you will actually watch it when it comes out. So, but happy post-Thanksgiving, if you will. Anyways, this has been Major, and I'll see you guys next time.